God is not real. No one's coming to save you. We're fucked. Get over it. Warning, this video contains any and all spoilers related to Markiplier's movie Iron Lung. If you have not watched or you care about having spoilers, do not watch this video. I have seen a little bit of spoilers so far, not willingly, just like stuff that will like pop up on my For You page, but I saw something really interesting, which my boyfriend's in the other room, so I don't want to spoil too much for him. One of the things that I saw that was really interesting in the spoilers was Children of Eden or something. Like, I saw a credit for that, which was really cool. So that it kind of seems to me that this is going to be like a similar vibe. I feel like this is going to be a similar vibe to Edge of Sleep in that way, because I watched that too. You can see a video about that. But I feel that's my prediction. And now with my lucky flannel, I go to actually see the movie. A couple days later. It's been a few days. I've written some notes down. Most of them were like first impressions. It's not gonna be sequential. I'm just going like based off of how it goes through the brain. So let's do this. First off, let's go through the general acting. I think it was overall pretty good. There were some parts, like specifically the narration at the beginning. It sounds like Mark was trying to almost do like a Willem Dafoe impression for some reason to me. And there was like, at one point he just goes, "It's an ocean of blood." And I'm like, of blood? Of blood? And that was like going in and out of my head through it. So, I mean, but other than that, pretty good acting. I also do think the fact that they revealed that the blood ocean was actually human blood was extremely interesting. And I feel like one of the big things that I really enjoyed about this movie was that it was smart. Like, there are so many movies, especially horror movies nowadays, that hold your hand, walk you through everything, like spoon feed you the lore. Iron Lung, same as the game, is just like you're put in the scenario and that's it. So having those like tiny explanations and then everything else you have to like figure it out yourself, it just felt very confident in like, yeah, you guys are actually going to be like paying attention and reading into everything. I really enjoyed that. I think my favorite way that Mark had showed like being able to think for yourself and figuring everything out was specifically with the radiation scene. So what that scene was whenever Mark first saw the skeleton, like under the sea, that they're like, "Oh my god, you found a skeleton?" Brought him back up temporarily, but like still kept him inside the iron lung. And he was like angry walking around, and then he like hits the camera button, and then they're like, "Oh my god, we can't use a regular camera in a blood ocean. What do you think? This is X-rays. That's radiation." So he takes this picture, irradiates some people, which is not great. And so like those people get sent to the medical office. But then you start to realize whenever he gets sent back down that the skeleton moved. And then they were like trying to explain it of like, oh, well, maybe whenever the like earthquake or whatever happened that it just got like tousled around. And then you start seeing it like actually look at him. And once he's like, "Oh my god, I think it looked at me," that's when it hit my head. I'm like, oh my god, that's actually the creature. The creature is real. In the creature feature, it's featuring the creature. Sorry. Oh. That is so outdated. My bad. Going into that, the actual like design of the creature itself was completely different than what I was expecting, because if you've seen my channel before, I actually did a little statue based off of the Iron Lung movie before we had anything about it, just like the stuff that we had from the actual game, and the creature is completely different. But you know, now maybe I can make an updated version. Maybe I'll do that. Subscribe for that. Actually, don't subscribe for that because I don't know if I'm gonna do it, but subscribe anyways because I'm cool, I guess, maybe? Am I? Subscribe, figure it out. It really was interesting how like humanoid the face looked, because I was expecting just a big old fish, but they actually like gave it like the part in your nose that actually like makes it look like there's a real nose. like that was cool. And like just the mouth, it was so spooky. And in that like one scene where he's like, I see you too, and it's like the actual like big creature, I was kind of expecting it to be less demonic. I was expecting it to actually look like a fish, but you know, apparently not. It really went more into the like cosmic horror than they did like the actual like submarine like sea horror, I guess. What I noticed a lot of with the depictions of the creature and everything, especially like the entire reason why I'm making this video in the first place, is how it is being depicted as a god. Something that they mention throughout the entire movie is Eden, and I forgot the other one's name. I am so sorry. And then the last tree. So it's like these two groups, the last tree, and then what Mark/Simon was a part of, which is that other group, which, you know, I'm not trying to like explain the actual movie. I'm just trying to talk for the people that have seen it, if that makes any sort of sense. So what ended up happening was Mark/Simon, he was in this group with people. They were on a spaceship that had the last tree. Some mission went wrong. His group members abandoned him. And then he, like, the entire thing got set on fire, and Mark/Simon was the one that got taken the blame for all of that happening, even though he didn't want to be part of it. And so, from quite literally being the reason why the last tree ever got destroyed, and then getting put onto the submarine being told, oh, well, this is time for you to finally do some good. This is bigger than you. This is bigger than me. This is bigger than all of us. The fact that it was essentially them believing that this information that was found on this planet, blood ocean, moon, whatever it was so important, but they needed somebody expendable. They needed somebody that they weren't going to miss, because as we saw at the end, if it's not worth it, at least they didn't lose anybody that they were actually wanting to keep. This kind of hold on the narrative is what affects everything. So that's why whenever he made the mistake of irradiating the people with the camera, they were like, you know what, this guy really is as bad and as dangerous as they're saying. Like, he was literally nicknamed Simon the Butcher. Like, big, bad, dangerous dude. So they were willing to drop him again where he got lost again. And then the ghost chick that he hears whenever he tells her who he is, he's like, oh yeah, this is me. And she's like, oh, well, maybe you do deserve to be down here. Like, even the creature itself is like, oh, they don't want you. They're gonna kill you anyways. Like, there's no point in going back there. Don't help them. And it seems like the main thing that this creature is protecting is what the, let's call her ship number 8, because I don't remember what her actual name is. Ship number 8, we found out that she is dead, obviously. So this is either her being part of some kind of hive mind, or it's an illusion, or it's a ghost. It's something, her spirit, that kind of thing. That she is talking about this great light that is under the ocean that this big awe creature is protecting. And ship number 8's whole thing is, we should all be seeing this. This was meant for us. This is the greater good. The quiet rapture was meant to happen. This is what a lot of religious people can believe in. And we even see that, like, maybe nobody else thought about this, but I did, that at the end, whenever Mark is actually being attacked by the creature, and he gets, like, held up from one part of the ship to another one, my first thought was straight up like, that this is literally Jesus getting crucified, because he's getting, like, held up by his arms. Like, that was my straight up thought. It's almost like if you guys have heard anything about Markiplier's mom's book, Markiplier from North Korea, where she was making fun of North Korea's president, Like, straight up, it's almost like the same thing in my brain where both of them are depicting him as Jesus. That's why I think it was super interesting whenever Simon went into kind of a monologue that he's not sure if the Great Rapture was actually like the entirety of the universe disappearing, or if it was the other way around where it was the ships that disappeared. I really wish that we delved more into it because I feel like that would also like make a lot more sense. Why they're calling it a quiet rapture is because a rapture, I mean, most people probably know this, that it's basically like essentially God, Jesus, whoever comes back and is like, yo, all the cool guys that believe in me, get in the car. Everybody else, you stay down here, and then the world turns to hell. So it could make sense to be a traditional rapture that way. But also with this great light, supposedly, it could have also been like they got transported into another dimension type thing. Like we see that similar in, what's it called? Alice in Borderland, if you guys have ever heard of that. It's this Japanese show where like, I think it was like an asteroid or something happens and they go into this like coma and it's like this game world or something. Like something similar to that. That would be also very interesting. But the fact that he was depicted as basically like dying for their sins whenever he was getting like swallowed up by the blood and everything at the end, I feel like that's just so... I don't know how to explain it. Let's dive into the theory part and what I think that this is actually like trying to depict now that I've gone like into my ramblings. Basically, the way that I saw this movie was that either somehow they're separated, the two universes of like all the other planets and then the Iron Lung and the people of Eden. So either they are separate universes, they got separated somehow, or it's just the Iron Lung universe now. And I don't think that the actual creature is a god. Like, I do not think that the Great Light is part of why the Quiet Rapture happened. I think that this was just a misdirect, specifically for the fact that we never heard of this from anybody else other than a hallucination. And when did we see this hallucination? When his oxygen was low. Now, when we see the oxygen in this, they didn't really touch on it actually going low. In fact, they did the opposite. So what happened was he went back down, he got attacked again, and we got the scene of him talking to the creature and like, you know, understanding and all this after he talked to the girl about the quote-unquote great light for understanding everything. But all of this could very well be a hallucination from oxygen deprivation, maybe even radiation messing up his mind, just solitary confinement in general, being terrified. Like, we saw that with like some random for a split second humanoid monster thing being in the chair. Like, this is something that is just already pre-established, that there are many reasons why this guy would be going insane. Also, he's dehydrated. So like generally, bro's not doing well. Genuinely do not think anything like actual, like, I don't even know how to explain it. I think that ship number 8, the girl is real, but she is either like some kind of like ghost or some kind of like spiritual creature part of the blood ocean now. Like, I think he was already close to death. And then whenever he did get swallowed up by the creature after the light and being like, I see you too, all that, I think he died. Because whenever he woke back up after that, he was able to like talk again. Like, the speaker hadn't been broken, they were able to communicate with him, and also whenever he heard ship number 8's voice again, the oxygen went up. And they brought that up too, is that it was weird. They were like, dude, it's been days. I don't know how your oxygen didn't run out. So I genuinely do not think, I think he was dead by this point. Another reason why I think that is because of the audio mixing. Because there were some times where like literally everybody's voices were messing up. And I mean, maybe that was an artistic choice, but it really seemed like the rest of it was just an articulated thing from the creature itself. Because whenever he's going to like give the sample and everything to them, the creature's like trying to push back, and like all of the voices are messing up. I feel it was like a test to see if he would like join with the creature and become part of whatever this was, or if he was trying to like leave and reject it. And since he rejected it, he got torn up. Like the it's kind of funny because him getting his arm torn off and like the blood and like how gory it got at the end was not only really unexpected, but also the theories from that one picture of Mark, whenever it kind of looked like his arm got cut off, technically is now real. Like that was a crack theory and that actually happened. So, you know, crazy to think about. The fact that it was so fantastical that way, with the fact of how like crazy and gory and like supernatural and sci-fi it was at the end. Like it was just like standard like blood ocean kind of hallucinations. That last 10-15 minutes was insane. Like the freaking whole freaking fish creature chomping that thing in half, that was wild. Like I fully think that anything that we see of the actual planet isn't real. Because I feel like no matter what happened, if he was gone during the time of the like original him passing out and him meeting the creature for the first time, they would have mentioned that to him. They would have said, hey, we saw this big creature and you standing out of the ocean. They would have said something. There's also just like so many times in general in this movie that could be like fake outs of, okay, is this when he died? Is this when he died? Is this when he died? Like, it is genuinely really, really confusing in that part, but also that's the part that like makes you think, makes you want to rewatch, makes you want to like dive into it even more and understand what's going on. The part that I felt like was kind of like an unneeded add-on was the fact that they were like, oh, my brother was here, and has like a little keepsake that I'm sure had some kind of symbolic meaning. It was one of those add-ons that I was like, is that really necessary? I don't know. We like kind of backtracked a bit in the actual movie itself, just having to go back and forth, but I mean, that's also part of the actual game, so can't really, fault for that. But the reason why I specifically bring this up with the desire for freedom, religious psychosis, the feeling of having to give yourself up for a bigger cause, that's like the general like theme of everything that I saw. I do genuinely believe that the main theme of this movie is a form of religious psychosis, because Simon's character feels so much genuine guilt for everything because of the facts that like his brothers died for an organization that he was forced to be a part of, that he was branded for, and then he, ends up in this horrible situation, and then he gets arrested and gets put into a horrifying situation in a blood ocean. And what we find out is that one of the main reasons why they were wanting to even check the blood ocean itself was because they were trying to figure out if they could use the blood to synthesize food and be able to grow life with it. Which, I mean, I get it. It's a huge deal for, surviving. Eating is like one of the top things. Drinking too, important. But they find out that it's actually human blood. But for some reason, even though it's technically considered human blood and is like structured like it and has DNA and stuff, it's still highly, highly corrosive. It's not only corrosive, but it also has like boils, it makes your skin peel off. Like it was just really gross. And it was also really hot. Like it was genuinely a boiling blood ocean. Like extremely, extremely hot. So obviously, if you ate anything that was created with it, something was wrong. And it was really strange that ship number 8 was so like, you've got to get this information. They need to know. They need to hear about all this. Genuinely seemed like the fact of the matter and what they were trying to push for the actual universe itself, not ours, was God is not real. No one's coming to save you. We're fucked. Get over it. And as everybody was pushing around going, this is bigger than us, this is bigger than you, this is bigger than me, we don't know who's actually making those orders to Ava. Like, we don't know who the top captain of Eden even is. So we don't know this guy, we don't know his intentions. For all we know, it's some other kind of creature that's influencing them, just like the sea creature. With the fact that that's if we even think that it's the sea creature doing it. Let me explain. It can go one of two ways in my head. It can go that ship number 8 is part of this general collective because she accepted the creature, and the creature is some kind of like deity that's able to turn people into this network of human blood, and that the sea creature is potentially even made out of human skeletons just because of how humanoid the face looked, and it was just big. It seemed like a coagulation of this human blood and everything around it. So, human blood, corpse god. Or we can go the emo secondary version, which is that this entire movie is just a visualization of Simon's guilt. Now, in that symbolic universe, it's essentially that the creature does exist, but it's not what's talking. Everything that Simon hears is oxygen deprivation, dehydration, radiation poisoning, all of those mixed together into him just feeling his guilty conscience from what happened on the base that got exploded, or the station that got exploded. Him just thinking about that, and especially with the creature asking him if he believed in God, him believing that the reason why he is still on this earth getting punished was because he was not a religious, pure man that went by the book, and that is the reason why he's in the situation that he is in. So he's like, oh, well, you know what? I deserve it. Like, because even if the creature was some kind of deity, the only way that it would know Simon's name would specifically be if, like, his brother being part of the collective added that information on. That is the only explanation for why the creature would know Simon's name instead of it being a hallucination. And it honestly seems like the fact that they don't actually know what's going on this planet, because ship number 8 was talking about using the blood as food, and then Eden is talking about trying to figure out why the quiet rapture happened with the Great Light. And honestly, this Great Light could probably just be like an anglerfish type thing, like the original game had, where it just looked like, you know, like that's what an anglerfish has. That's how it lures you in. So having it be able to like lure people in, as well as just like, yeah, just being big and scary in general, like it looks like an anglerfish. Just, you know, an evil, metal as fuck, humanoid corpse anglerfish. And I mean, honestly, yeah, if I was God, I'd leave that fucking thing in a different universe too. I wouldn't take that with the holiest creatures. Fuck that. Like, I also genuinely believe, like how I was talking earlier about it being a test, I straight up think that they did not tell him to get a second sample. They did not tell him to get the information from ship number 8. I think all of that was fake, and that was the monster just being like, hey, run it back. Come back here. Let me eat you. Get over here. Like, that's completely what I thought it was. At the beginning, whenever Simon was like, so I'll be free, that Ava would be like, then we'll bring you back up. And then at the end, whenever Mark thinks that he's getting freedom as the test, or like if he was actually getting freedom and it was real, that he was like, so I'll be free, and then she goes, and then you'll be free. So like, you know, I thought that was interesting. For some reason, Markiplier sees this, he can correct me. So he's the one that directed the movie, or David himself. That would probably be the number one most reliable answer, and then, you know, Mark secondary, right? In that line, somebody, if any of those people see me, please answer my questions, please. I just want to know! But yeah, that is just my kind of like word dump on how I felt about the movie and what I thought its themes were. You know, it was just a great movie in general. It felt very smart. I loved it. Yeah, I know the title is a bit weird, but I wanted to like dive into more of like an interesting way to look at it in the concept of guilt and the desire for freedom. But yeah, let me know how you felt down in those comments. While you're down there, also hit that like button because that gives me that sweet dopamine to keep making these videos. You can check out my Ko-Fi, where you can check out my shop as well as just my donation link. I think that is about it for this video. Hope you have a great rest of your day and do not drown in an ocean of human blood. Bye bye! Pretend I'm not here.